anyone just saw that, I tried to go live, but the phone or the settings had me in horizontal. No, it had me in, yeah, that horizontal landscape. I think I'm in the right thing. I think I'm in the right thing. It looks okay. Landscape. Hi Rich. Phew, I'm here. I thought I was completely on my own then. Hello Rich. Mitch, how are you? Does it look alright? Does it sound alright? Is it a bit wonky? I think it's just because I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I've got the aircon on in my room. I do not have aircon. You must be of the upper echelons of society, Rich Mitch, for a Brit to have aircon. Have you got one of those units? Hello Joanna, nice to see you. Isn't it warm? It is so warm. Is this frame okay? I don't know. It is, yeah, the last few days it's been a bit on the warm side. I'm just adjusting. Try that. I'm going to try that. I've got a challenge portable one. Okay. Oh, cool. So you can wheel it around room to room. It sounds great. I probably should have put a fan on, but I'm not too bad. This room is the coolest room in the house because I keep the blinds closed. They are there. The blinds just stay closed all the time when it's warm, and yeah, it gets hotter out the back because bingo wings, hotter out the back because there's a conservatory that's open too, so you can't like close the conservatory. It's all part of that area out there. So yeah, it does get a bit warm out there. I have got the back door open as well as the kitchen back door, which both lead out to the garden. So a bit of airflow. So it's not too bad in here. I've left the telly on. Why have I done that? I'm going to turn the telly off. Not that it's not actually doing anything, but it's just weird. So yeah, I haven't made much effort for you, I'm afraid. My face is just scrubbed and moisturised, pretty much ready for bed. So it's a bit shiny. Hair all tied back because it's too hot when you wear your hair down. When you've got a lot of hair, it gets a bit warm. So yeah, that's what you're getting. But I got perfumes, and I'm just gonna get, I think I might need my reading glasses. I've been wearing Soleil Blanc today. I really want Blue Madeleine. I've only tested that in the shop, so I do remember it was quite a nice, refreshing, slightly gourmand-ish fragrance. I believe it would be nice in the heat from testing it last year. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Right, yeah, I'm going to put my glasses on because I could be able to read these comments better, I think. Oh, can I? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's better. Incence. Alicia, hello, nice to see you. Yeah, let me know what's the weather like where you are. Clearly it's hot where Rich Mitch is, but you might not be in the UK. You might be somewhere else. Karen, hi. I've watched a lot of your vids, but this is my first time seeing you live. Oh, hi Karen. Welcome to the live stream. I don't do them that often these days. I used to be a bit more regular, but I don't know why. It feels like an effort, but then when I do it, I always enjoy it. So Joanna's been through 2 or 3 decants of, was it Blue Madeleine? That's it. I was going to say Blue Waffle. No, I wasn't. I really wasn't. And right, yeah. So what are we doing today? You're telling me where you are and how hot it is or not, and also then what your fragrance of choice has been for the hot weather, or if not hot, then whatever your scent of the day is. Let me know. I'm going to actually, may as well just plow into these fragrances with the first one, and this is what I'm actually wearing now. So I had a nice refreshing shower, and this was my fragrance of choice. So this is Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Aqua. This is my favourite of all the Neroli Portofinos I love the original Neroli Portofino. I don't like the strong one. Is it Forte or whatever it is? Parfum, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why. It's the same as Cologne Indelible. It's a citrus that goes in a really strange, unpalatable direction for my personal taste. Like, I think when you try and make a light citrusy fragrance really strong and long lasting, you probably have to do something to it that changes the scent profile and just makes it kind of, I don't know, it goes a bit too green, I think. And there's something else that's just, I don't want to say pissy, but something that I just don't like about, the strong Tom Ford Neroli Portofino and Cologne Indelible as well. They're just not for me. I like my Neroli Portofino Aqua. The reason I like the Aqua the most is because it's got this fluffy muskiness about it and a slight floral thing. It's fluffy and cloud-like in the underneath the sharper fresh citrus neroli. I don't know what the other citrus notes in there. It's got the sharpness and the refreshingness about it, but it's softened with this fluffy, sort of slightly sweetened, fluffy muskiness about it. So that is why I really love this one. It gives you the refreshing thing that you need in this, hot, sweaty weather. It makes you feel clean, but it also is warmed up, and it's a little soft and fluffy and lovely and comforting at the same time. We have a Valentina. Femininity du Bois for me this evening. Heat makes choice of perfume quite difficult. I've been rotating Cristal, EDT, Beige and Femininity pretty much all week. I wore Beige yesterday. I had a dentist appointment and I thought I would go with Beige because it's still light and fresh. It's a sort of frangipani honey fragrance, but it's light and fresh and clean and pretty. So that was my fragrance of choice yesterday. I thought about putting it in this selection, but I decided not to. I have got one Chanel, I think. Yes, I do. One Chanel here. So yeah, let me know what you're wearing. Joanna, I've just bought Anam Cara by Dusita. Watched your review. It's the first bottle I bought for myself in 2 years. Wow. Okay, well enjoy that then. Anam Cara, that was the orange blossom one. That is so beautiful. I finished up my small bottle that I had. Yeah, really, really nice. Good choice. And really good for warm weather as well. I think it's sweet, but it's got the freshness to it. Karen said it's hot AF. I've been wearing a lot of Jo Malone and Hermes colognes. That makes sense. And 4711, perfect. Just keep on spraying the 4711 and you're going to be good and fresh. Right then, right, I've done that, moving that out the way. So I'm going to stick with the really light, fresh stuff. So probably more the daytime only kind of. No, I think when the weather's really hot, there's no such thing as this is a daytime only fragrance. I would, if I was somewhere where it was really warm, I remember being in the Caribbean and getting out of the shower and getting ready to go out for the evening. And as soon as you step out of the air-conditioned apartment, the heat hits you and it's so bizarre. I mean, it's warm now here, but it's nothing like, obviously, it's nothing like Mexico or Cuba or whatever. And yeah, I would absolutely be wearing these typical light citrus daytime fragrances at night as well. Probably take it out with me in my handbag and re-spritz to keep that refreshing feeling. Anyway, I don't know if you just saw that, but this is another one that I love for when it's really hot. I love it all the time, to be fair, but it is perfect for the heat. It's Atelier Cologne, Pomelo Paradis, or Paradis. I'm not sure if you pronounce the S at the end. Pomelo Paradis is a primarily pomelory primarily a grapefruit. So pomelo and grapefruit are apparently different but very, very similar. And yeah, so I would, because I don't know what a pomelo even looks like, let alone tastes like or smells like, this is grapefruit. They're very, very similar apparently. So yeah, it's grapefruit. There is some cassis in it. There is some orange blossom. There's a lot of different citruses. It's not just grapefruit. So it's a very sort of well-rounded blast of citrus. I think there's some rose as well. And it's got some base notes to it that you don't really pick up on. I can't remember if it's vetiver or cedar, a few other bits and pieces in there. But for me, it really is citrusy, but it's got this sweetness to it. This touch of sweetness and this perfect balance of sweet and tart at the same time. And it's really juicy and zingy and refreshing and uplifting, all the things that really natural smelling citrus fragrances are. So I absolutely love my Pomelo Paradis. Atelier, most of the perfumes are done by Jerome Epinette, except the most popular one. What's the most popular one, Karen? Off the top of my head, I can't think. Clementine one, maybe. Yeah, Karen, absolutely must love grapefruit. Must love grapefruit to enjoy this one. I am a huge fan of grapefruit in all its forms. I have grapefruit in my kitchen right now for eating. I like to sprinkle a little bit of powdered sweetener on it, and yeah, spoon that in my gob. I like bitter, the bitterness and the. I guess it's that combination is like bitter and sweet at the same time. Something really interesting about grapefruit. I know all the citrus fruits, they're good, but grapefruit is my favourite. When I buy squash, I always always have grapefruit squash. If I can't get it, I'm really upset. I mean, I'm not upset. I'm not throwing tantrums in the shopping. I'm not throwing tantrums when I'm doing my groceries, but yeah, grapefruit squash, grapefruit flavoured stuff, and yeah, grapefruit perfumes are great. But this is my favourite grapefruit fragrance. I like this better than the Guerlain Aqua Allegoria one. It's not Pomelo, it's one of you will know. One of you will tell me what it is. I've forgotten. But yeah, this is my absolute favourite grapefruit fragrance. I've got compliments when I've worn this one. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever get bored of it. I did get through almost a full 200ml bottle going back quite a few years. I stopped wearing it for a while, and the last little bit did turn in the end. It wasn't smelling quite right. I had to get rid of it. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then it's only been the last, I don't know when I got this, last few months or so, that I decided to repurchase. Something reminded me of it, and I decided to get a bottle. And yeah, I've put this much of a dent in it, so I'm for sure enjoying it. Lily is here. Hello, Lily. Good to see you. How hot is it? Actually, I don't know. I'm no good at knowing what the temperature is. It's probably not considered that hot to people from other places like you, Lily. I don't know what the heat's like where you're from, but I know you're in the States somewhere. Yeah, if anyone knows what the temperature is down here in the southeast of England, I'm in Kent, do share. I'm not sure what Shaka Via is saying. Sobel, is that does that mean something? You're saying it a lot. Not really sure what that means. Orange Sanguine is the really popular one from Atelier Cologne, says Karen. Yeah, okay. So Pomelo Paradis is definitely one I will be wearing a lot in the heat. I have been wearing this one I've worn this over the last few days when we've had this little bit of a heat wave. And yeah, I will be completely honest. I used to say that this lasted really well, and I think it does when it's not that hot, or when it's not mega hot. But I did wear it the other day, and I felt like I only got a few hours of it before it was like really just very, very light on my skin. So it's actually, the performance of it is better when it is not quite so hot. But still, just respray it. They're not the most expensive brand. You can find it on the grey market for less than retail, and yeah, just keep spraying it because it's so good. Sandra says, hello everyone, scent of the day, femininity du bois. So that's 2. So Valentina is also wearing that. That is unusual. That's a coincidence, shall we say. It can get to 40 degrees Celsius in a heat wave where I am. Incence Alicia says 93 degrees Fahrenheit here. Yeah, I should know really, shouldn't I? I know we did have our hottest day. Was it yesterday? I think, yeah. Yesterday apparently was our hottest day. Untouchable says the best for summer high heat are D&G light blue Eau intense for women and Prada L'Homme splash low. Okay. Right. So sticking with really, really fresh citrusy ones, we have this one, Eau de Jardin from Clarins. This is an affordable one, and I've made that much of a dent in it since I got it, and that was only a few months ago as well. I think I got it in my head that I needed some more freshies in my collection, and that's probably where I ended up getting this, and also the Pomelo Paradis in the same kind of time. Eau de Jardin. Eau de Jardin is another grapefruity. I'd say grapefruit is the main citrus, but there are other citruses in here. There is also rose, and this is another one that has got some base notes. I think I read there was patchouli, and I definitely don't get that. There might be a touch of a light woodsiness in the dry down, but I think there's a vetiver note or a cedar or something, but really it's not that noticeable. It's mostly citrus. It's pretty tart. If you think about the tartness of rhubarb, even though it's not a rhubarb note in here, but if you think about the tanginess, the twanginess of rhubarb, it's something of that in here, which I really enjoy. There's rose. I think there might be some other florals. This one has mint. I don't really find it that noticeable, but I think it does lend something to it that takes it in a slightly different direction. I do really enjoy mint in perfume. I finished my bottle of Renaissance 1861 from Zoologist. That has a mint note. That's very citrusy with this light mint in there, and again it has some more base notes that don't really come through, and it stays very citrusy. And I enjoy that one. I probably won't get that again though. What's going on with all these comments? Indie says, Alicia says I wear fragrances for men. Yep. Wear whatever you want, whatever you like. I would absolutely wear. There's a few men's perfumes I would wear. Dior, most of the Dior Homme line, absolutely love those. And I got my friend onto Dior Homme Intense. I took her out sniffing perfume, and she tried Dior Homme Intense, and she just kept going back to it. And in the end, I said, look, I can probably hook you up with an affordable, I can probably find it on the secondhand market for you. And we managed to hook her up with a bottle. So she's now wearing Dior Homme Intense. And yeah, I would wear, there's quite a few men's fragrances I would happily wear. Lily says, I personally can't wear perfumes in the heat. I get highly sensitive to sensory things and everything just feels cloying to me. Oh, that's a shame. I can kind of understand. I'm not as sensitive as that. I love, I do love to wear my fresher perfumes in the heat. So, but I can understand a little bit of that. Rich Mitch says, UK heat hits different because we're surrounded by the sea. It always just feels so sweaty and hard to breathe, doesn't it? Like you can be on the Mediterranean and it's hotter, but you just feel less sweaty and just feel a little bit more easy breezy with it. Rich is a bad Brit and he's not updated me on the weather. How long have you been off the booze? Oh, thank you, Rich. That's really kind of you. How long have I been off the booze now? I had my last drink on New Year's Eve on the 2024. So it's been a year and about 6 months. And yeah, loving life. So I know I was kind of like almost identified myself, my personality by drinking, and it, you know, you only see that when you look back. It's like, yeah, have a beer, I want to have a drink, yeah, I had a drink, I got drunk, oh ha ha, you know. And then so it's a bit weird when you first stop drinking because you almost lose a part of yourself, and it sounds really strange, but maybe there's some, like one of you watching might know and might have no, I'm not a recovering alcoholic. I was just a bit of a binge drinker, and yeah, it got to a point where I just like embarrassed myself one too many times, and you know, it was one of those wake up call type situations. I thought, I can't keep doing this, you know, and ruining like entire days with hangovers, and it just wasn't good. So yeah, it's funny how when you almost identify a part of your personality as being a drinker, and then you decide to get rid of that, it's like, oh, who am I now? And it takes a while, because yeah, that's what I've always done. So every social situation I'm ever going to face, or I ever faced, I would make sure I was able to drink. So when you take that away, it's like, oh God, am I going to be like the really quiet, shy person in the room? Are people going to see me as really boring and dull? If I haven't got that to pep me up and to like liven me up and to sort of loosen me up. But you just learn to adapt and to not need it. Karen says, rhubarb is lovely. I really like Rose Ikebana from the Hermescence line. I'm not sure if I've tried that one. Oh, hello, Steve. Steve Paradox says, light blue Forever Homme is so good too. I've got 90ml left, which is a shame as it's discontinued. Duck and Lily are getting into it. Rich Mitch says, I can't catch the sun. The meds I'm on mean I have to avoid. Sandra B, hello Sandra, says, duck doesn't tan, he peels. That is the Viking skin for you. Incence, Alicia, I just don't go in the sun because I want to breathe and not melt. Sandra says, drinking is such a huge part of UK life and the pub culture. Untouchable says, I need to stop smoking. Yeah, that smoking and being a perfume head are not conducive. Yes, Sandra says, Lily, I think British drinking culture doesn't get talked about. Rich Mitch says, drinking in the UK has declined dramatically over the last 15 years. It's been stark and shocking to watch. Yeah, I think the younger generations are much more clued up about health and wellness and things. And I noticed, I know that when I went through a short phase a couple of years ago going to the gym, so many youngsters in there, and even on like a Friday night, a Saturday night, all these youngsters 18 years old, 19, and they're just like they're healthy. It's so wholesome. They're healthy and they're working out, and they're not out. I mean, obviously there are still plenty of the younger generation out there behaving like me and my generation used to, but I don't think it's quite as bad as it was. I could be wrong. I don't know if there's any statistics on that, but I do feel like just in general, there's so much information out there now that wasn't about when we were younger. Not that it would have stopped me if I'd have known what I know now. One thing I would have done different, going off of drinking, and one thing I would have done different is protected my face from the sun. But I'm trying to do my best now. But I think, had I actually been shown a photo of what would happen to my skin, like the pigmentation, and like I've got a bit of an old lady neck, had I known, and I wouldn't have sprayed perfume. I think I have accelerated, not just with the sun, but by spraying perfume on my neck. I don't do that anymore. I spray it like the back of my neck because I can't see it, so I don't care. Behind my ears, maybe in my hairline, down low on my shoulders, but I will not spray perfume on my neck because I'm sure that in the sun with the perfume on it massively accelerated aging on here, and I have quite a lot of pigmentation on my neck as well. So if that is something you're doing, I would urge you to reconsider. You can easily spray elsewhere, but yeah, I feel like that really has accelerated the aging effect on my skin. Rich says, yeah, spraying perfume of the neck will age it quicker. Any skin with perfume on that is exposed to the sun will damage quicker. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess I just I spray the insides. I don't spray my corners. I'm just showing you my bruises. That's a paddleboarding bruise, I think. I don't actually remember getting it. And then that's a blood test bruise. But I don't spray the inner corners of my arms anymore because they became quite sensitive to perfume and they would react and get itchy and rashy. But I do feel like this skin here is fairly safe to spray because I guess it stays out of the sun a bit more than like that bit. And I'm not seeing signs of aging so much there. So, but yeah, do be careful with the sun and your perfumes. Right, should we move on to another fragrance? So we've done Eau de Jardin. We're going to do another really fresh one. This is another really fresh and light one, but it is Chanel. And that's actually that's my grapefruit squash. This is Gardenia. Lily says, I do shoulders, inside, upper arm, and solar plexus. I bought this fairly well used anyway, so I haven't used all of that. So it's Gardenia, the Eau de Parfum, so the current formulation from the it's Les, isn't it? Les exclusive line. Gardenia is just super fresh. It's like a green floral, very, very refreshing. Rich says Gardenia is the only Les exclusive that Eugene doesn't have. I'm shocked that there's a perfume in the world, especially a Chanel, that Eugene doesn't have. Hey Peter, so nice to see you. So yeah, Gardenia, to me, I don't know if it's got any listed citrus notes, but it's it's so fresh. It feels like it has citrus in it. It's supposed to be a vanilla in here. I don't find it. There's a lot of listed. When I say there's a lot, there's a fair few listed notes for Gardenia, but ultimately, I just smell a fresh white floral. Potentially could be a mixture of gardenia, could be a little bit of jasmine, has a green facet, could have, you know, when there's green notes listed, but it smells like dewy grass, like grass first thing in the morning, the sun's just coming up and it is nothing else around you, so it's really clean air and just fresh and sort of like the sweetness of dewy grass, that with florals, and then just a hint of musk in the dry down. And I don't really get that much more from it. Maybe slightly fruity element to it, but not like an added fruit, more like how some florals can be a little fruity. So I've got some gardenia essential oil that is actually quite fruity. It's got a fruity facet to it, so it's sort of like that. Just, it's so refreshing. It's not, again, not that long lasting, especially on the really hot days when it just burns off your skin quite quickly, but it makes me feel really pretty. It feels like you should be wearing a white linen floaty dress, you know, and dancing around in a meadow. And yeah, I like that. I probably won't buy another bottle when this is gone. I don't think I need to. It's not one I really crave that often, but I do enjoy it when I just want something sort of light and really fresh and really pretty. Yeah, that is a Gardenia from Chanel. I'm actually getting through these quite quickly. Joanna says, I've got a tiny miniature of Gardenia, but I've forgotten to test it out. Well, I'm glad I'm able to remind you. Do give it a test. Might wear it on Sunday for church. Perfect. Lily says, getting Gardenia wouldn't give anything left of Chanel to look forward to buying if you complete the line. That is true. That is true. And Valentina says, Chanel's Gardenia smells a little bit like linden blossom, which is lime blossom. Okay, I don't think I really have explored lime blossom as a note that well. I know there was that one that came out recently that everyone was raving about. I've forgotten what it was called. But it was a brand that does do really quite heavy fragrances. They've got that really sort of aquatic one. One of you will know what I'm talking about. That's it. Thank you, Sandra B. Atelier. Yeah. I don't know what the brand is. But yeah, Atelier is the one. I was curious about it, but I am scared of, apparently it is really strong. And for me, if it's really strong, it's probably got some of those aroma chemicals in that bother me. Marc Antoine Barrois. Yes, thank you. That's the brand. Untouchable says, I watched Mr. Smelly's last upload and he has Montel Mucalat in his top 3 summer perfumes for men. Really? That one's really, really rich and sweet. It smells like, literally like a load of sweets. And I thought it smelled actually like when you little and you go to school and you get the erasers that are scented, or you might even get dolls that are like plasticky dolls, or even pencil cases. I think Smiggle do. Actually, I don't think, I know, because I had one. Not from when I was a kid, but from when I was an adult. But yeah, Smiggle do these scented pencil cases and things. That kind of like fake raspberry, maybe like raspberry vanilla sort of smell. That is what Mucalat smells like to me. So Yeah. Valentina says Tilia is good for nothing for us who don't like amberwoods. I thought that was going to be the case. Thank you, Valentina. Lily says, where are you going for your next holiday? I haven't got anything booked. I have just had time. Well, we did a little road trip. Me and my boyfriend drove through France to see my mum, and we stopped on the way there. Where did we stop? Orléans. I think it's spelled Orleans, but I think you say Orléans maybe. We stopped in Orléans on the way there, and then on the way home we stayed a couple of nights at my mum's house, and then on the way home we stayed in Rouen, and so that was a little break. We went to Sicily. I think that was last year. We went to Sicily at the end of last year, and then at the beginning of this year we went to Egypt. And yeah, nothing planned, but we probably go away in September because we both have our birthdays, so we'll probably do something European in September, but I'm not sure yet where. Untouchable says, I have it and never worn it. He actually described it the same as you, scented eraser. I think he's just repeating what I used to say. Only kidding. No, it really does. And Sandra says that she absolutely hates woody ambers, but I don't mind Tilia. I have a 30ml of it. It's not worth getting more. I get more of a metallic note than an actual woody ambers, and probably ambroxan. Metallic notes. Joanna says, back in 2011 I had Versace Vanitas with lime and tonka. That was nice. I vaguely remember that. I think I've tried it, but it would have been too long ago. Right, let's talk about Hush Hush. So this one, Hush Hush, was my collaboration with Sarah McCartney from 4160 Tuesdays, and this is the Eau de Toilette version. This is the freshest of the options. There was Eau de Parfum and Parfum as well, but this one I find it really refreshing, especially in the opening. It's got a little bit more to it than the lighter citrusy things that we've talked about, but it is really refreshing. There's something in here that goes a bit minty. There's no mint note. It's I think it's bergamot. It's lightly citrus, a little bit tart citrus, but there's sort of like this paperiness about it. I think there was raspberry, rose, violet, and all the musks, a little bit of cashmeran, which I think helps with that paperiness. So I wanted to conjure up sort of a cigarette packet. The whole idea was like 1920s and a secret party, and we wanted to conjure up not the smell of smoking, but a cigarette packet. And so there's a tiny bit of tobacco in there as well, but it's mostly sort of light and sweet with, you've got some, what else? I can't remember. I think there's a teeny tiny bit of vanilla in this version, and then there's more vanilla in the stronger concentrations. But yeah, it's refreshing, but it's really sort of interesting and complicated, and then it's like lots and lots of musky stuff going on, which I really enjoy. So that is Hush Hush from 4160 Tuesdays. I'd just like to clarify that this is not a business collaboration. It was purely I guess you call it a passion project, and Sarah McCartney just did such a good job creating this fluffy musky fragrance that I envisaged. how did you get on with your blood test? I passed with flying colours. Yeah, I was. I'm not. I was being tested for deficiencies. I have mentioned before on this channel that I'm on weight loss injections. I don't. I'm not looking for controversy. I know that there's some clickbait headlines out there that really paint a dark picture, but if you actually do your research, the risks are quite minimal, especially if you stay on the lower doses and you do everything correctly. So I'm on Mounjaro weight loss injections. I have been now for 14 weeks, and one thing I think that might be happening is I thought that I might have some sort of deficiency in that, maybe because I'm eating less, I am deficient in iron or B12 or something, because I was getting, it's actually not too bad today, but I was getting the sort of darkness under my eye, so just below the lash line. I was getting like a little bit of a purpley tinge, not really obvious, but it's not something I've ever had before, and so that was one thing I noticed. And then I went through a stage of having ulcers in my mouth. I went for about 5 or 6 weeks of just getting ulcers in my mouth. So anyway, tested for various deficiencies, and they can't find anything that, my audio is a problem. I might take the mic out, put it back out in. Any better? Let me know. Yeah, so I can't remember what I was just saying. The blood tests has all come back all good. So it might just be, I don't know, a general lack of calories, but I'm not drastically losing weight at all. Blowing it. What? Okay. Cover your ears. How? I can take the mic out and see how that goes. Let me know how it is now, and then I can always take the mic out. Yeah, Joanna. Yeah, that's true. I think Sharon Osbourne herself says she went too far, and thank you, Richmond. She said that after she stopped taking it, she just couldn't put the weight back on, but that is not normally the case. Most people, if they stop, they do put the weight back on. So yeah, I think the blow frightened all the pigeons in the neighbourhood. So yeah, I'm not drastically lowering my calories. I really make sure that I eat enough, but yeah, just not quite sure what has been causing sort of the ulcers. And yeah, and one thing I also noticed is I am bruising very, very easily, and I always have bruised pretty easily, but it's a lot. I think it's a lot worse. But my iron's fine. So yeah, don't know. We'll have to keep checking stuff. Don't know. But yeah, the blood work all came back absolutely fine. If anyone is interested in my weight loss journey, I have got another channel which I usually link underneath all my videos. So if you do want to see how I'm getting on with that, then do pop over there. If it's something that you're interested in, go and have a look. And yeah, give me a subscribe. I'm trying to grow that channel to over 1,000 if I can, for obvious reasons. So that would be good. But yeah, apart from the minor issues, it's all going really well. I've lost 18 pounds, about 18 pounds since I started. So in 14 weeks, 18 pounds. So it's just a little bit over £1 a week. So it's not a drastic weight loss thing for me. Obviously I didn't have a massive amount to lose compared to a lot of people, I was on the lowest possible threshold to be able to be prescribed it. So if I was sort of even like 4 or 5 pounds lighter, I would have been refused the drug. So I was just at the threshold to be able to get it. And for me, I absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. It's such a good tool. But anyway, that's not what this channel is about. So if you're interested, do go over to my other channel and have a look. Okay. Right, let's do another perfume. So I have saved 3 perfumes till last. Excuse me, a little pouch. Because these are what I would consider a little bit more fancy. So these I would still wear during the day, but I would also feel like they're completely appropriate for nighttime and sort of dressing up kind of fragrance as well. So they are definitely stronger, longer lasting, as well as that as just feeling a little more fancy. So this will be the richest and the sweetest. So that's Venita Tahiti. Untouchable, yet there are many benefits that aren't discussed or haven't like necessarily been proven completely in tests, but let me read what you say first. Ozempic has cardiovascular benefits and slows down cognitive decline and increased protection against kidney disease. The Manjaro, which is the one that I'm on, has anti-inflammatory properties and also something else, and I've forgotten. Of course, because it's a diabetes drug, it lowers your sort of insulin spikes, or it regulates your blood sugars and all of that stuff. A lot of people with PCOS, a lot of people with PCOS, lymphedema, various inflammation diseases are reporting improvements. And also it seems to have an effect on addictive behaviors. So they haven't done proper testing on it yet, but they are looking at using it in alcohol and drug rehabilitation type things, because it affects your pleasure seeking. I don't know what the right word is, but it sort of damps down your desire to seek pleasure. So it can have negative effects on libido, for example, because you just don't necessarily fancy it, because you've just damped down that sort of that need for dopamine. I think that's what it is. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are definitely some negatives, and whatever you're doing, you should definitely do your own research, weigh up your benefits versus risks and all of that. And but there's a lot more to be learned. Dopamine, there's a lot more. I think there's more studies going on, and I personally think it's a good thing in preventative medicine. Stopping all the diseases linked to obesity. If you're gonna stop or slow all of that down, yes, can only be a good thing. Karen says some people could use less libido. Okay, so we're talking about Venita Tahiti off of Paris at Monte Carlo. This is now my favourite. I've always been between this and Ylang Ylang Nosy Bee, and Ylang Ylang used to be my favourite. I'm now finding that a bit too strong, and I was almost going to get rid of it, and then I thought I'd try it with just like one spray, and I quite enjoyed it. But I still now think that Venita Tahiti is my favourite. They actually have quite a few notes in common. They're both ylang ylang and vanilla fragrances. I actually don't know or remember what else is in here. This to me is an unusual vanilla perfume, so it definitely smells like there is proper vanilla in here, not that not just vanilla. There might be vanillin, but it's not a vanillin fragrance. It's got this beautiful fruity ylang ylang. It's almost a bit spicy, and then you've got this really textured vanilla. This vanilla's spicy and it's got so many facets. It just feels like, yeah, just so textured, and it's quite strong. It's quite long lasting. So it's a richer perfume. It's not necessarily as refreshing as everything else. I'm sure there's still a bit of citrus in there. There's definitely something a little tart going on in the top, but it is definitely a lot richer. So it's got that tropical feel without smelling like coconut, without smelling like mango or whatever. It's tropical because it's tropical florals, and I think the vanilla just makes you think of maybe like cocktails. I say pina colada without the pineapple. Cocktails and tropical flowers on a tropical island. And yeah, I really like this one, but as I say, it's probably a little rich and not refreshing enough for like a really hot day, but more so something I would wear when I want to smell a bit more fancy at night if I'm going out, something like that. But yeah, I very much enjoy that. And now we have Sex and the Sea Neroli. I've got the matching body oil as well, and that is so strong that you could just wear that and smell really good for at least 2 hours, if not 3. This is a really strong fragrance. It's an extrait de parfum, and despite being so fresh, it's really long lasting. Now this one does have a lot of notes. It also has a civet note. I don't find it that, sorry, I've got a text. I don't find it that animalic. I know some people do find it a bit animalic. Sex and the Sea Neroli to me is initially very much lots of neroli, petitgrain, citrusness, just really fresh, but really strong. There are some other, I think there's some florals in here. I think there might be orange blossom, that would make sense. There might even be a little bit of rose. There is vanilla in here. It's not obvious in the opening, but as you wear it, eventually, like the tartness, the sort of overall neroli, petitgrain, sort of, which adds a little bit of greenness to everything, as it starts to wind down, you get a little bit of the vanilla peeking through, but it's not a vanilla perfume by any stretch of the imagination. It just kind of comes in there and sort of, you know, adds to the sweetness. There's definitely a few things in here that bring sweetness. There's a coconut note. I don't find it particularly coconutty myself, which for me is a good thing. I don't really want coconut perfume. That's just, I don't know, just not that into coconut. I think it's, you know, the coconut smells nice, but I don't particularly want to smell like coconut myself. I've got connotations of it smelling sort of cheap or like suntan lotion. And yeah, so I don't really get the coconut in here, which is fine by me. This is really long lasting and really strong. So that's why I've got so much left, and I've had it a few years. I think this is my second bottle though, to if I'm thinking straight. But yeah, it does really last really well, and you don't need to spray very much. So yeah, I really like this. I love wearing this in the spring when it's still cool, because I don't know, it just just feels right, but it definitely works in the high heat of summer as well. And this is one that isn't killed by the sun because it just has so much strength. This, whatever Francesca has done here is it's amazing how well it lasts and projects and all of that. So if you like your perfumes to be really, really strong and yet still quite fresh, Francesca has done something amazing with that. Untouchable says, I forgot Virgin Island water. That is the best summer scent. That is a nice one. Yeah, I find it a little bit simple though. It is literally just smells like lime and coconut to me. Like really pleasant. Luna Rankst, I'm wearing Alien Goddess aka coconut right now. I'm not, I don't mean to insult anyone that is that likes wearing coconut perfumes. I think coconut, it smells nice, but I just specifically remember a hair conditioner leave-in spray, like you spray. It was from Boots. I think this is Boots Natural, and I used to use it when I was very young, like mid-teens ish, and it was really strong coconut smell, and it overpowered everything. And this is before I was ever wearing perfume. And someone said to me, oh, you smell like sunscreen, someone's got sun lotion on. And it wasn't a nice comment, if you know what I mean. The tone wasn't like, oh, someone smells like coconut. It was, someone's got sun lotion on. And I don't know, just, it can't help that my connection with coconut as a scent is like that it isn't particularly elegant. Karen says coconut in fragrances either smells like sunscreen or coconut. Dusan, hello Dusan. He says, like the stream for her team. Thank you, Dusan. Yes, do hit the old thumbs up if you care to. I have got one perfume left, and this is one I don't have a full bottle of, but I'm hoping that I will do one day. And it's this one here. So it's a travel spray of Guerlain Neroli Ultra Noir. I think there's a theme here, isn't there? There's a lot of Neroli and Orange Blossom, and I would say Orange Blossom and Neroli are probably up there in amongst my favourite notes. Sandra says, I don't like coconut in fragrances either. I am of Caribbean descent. So I am really about coconut in... So let me read that again. I don't like coconut in fragrances either. I am of Caribbean descent, so I am really about coconut in scents or food. Rarely it lives up to my expectations. Okay. Yeah, Neroli Ultra Noir. So this is Neroli and tea, predominantly, I think, is how it's sort of marketed. For me, it's fresh Neroli, Orange Blossom, with that hint of earthy smokiness in there. A little bit of sweetness. I think there's some vanilla, but only, like in the Francesca Bianchi one, like just a little bit, not really. A lot of the La Matière line is quite vanillic. Like most of them have a big dollop of vanilla in them. This one doesn't. It might have a mere whisper of vanilla in it. Might have some resins in there. It definitely has more of a I don't know what I'm trying to say. More very nuanced, very sort of complex. So like, it does not compare to this, or this. They are all fairly simplistic. Not necessarily, you know, I don't know in terms of structure and ingredients and all of that. Just as a consumer, I find them fairly simplistic. They don't take you on a wild ride. They don't feel like they have loads and loads of ingredients. This feels to me like it does have quite a lot of ingredients, and it does go on a little bit of a journey. I got a really good compliment on this one. I wore it on holiday. I was talking about my holiday to Sicily, and we went for to book our massages, and the lady in reception sort of commented and just kept on commenting about the fragrance, and that felt like there was a language barrier to a degree, but that definitely felt like a positive. She was commenting positively on my perfume, and it was this. I mean, I had recently just sprayed it, so it was quite strong, but yeah. So fresh mixture of citruses, but with neroli and orange blossom being the most dominant, with this touch of earthiness, which I think would be the tea, and then this sort of sweetness underlying, sweet and musky, and then really long lasting for something that does stay pretty fresh throughout the wearing, but it is heavier than those lighter perfumes I just sort of held up. It's definitely got a little more heaviness to it, and not necessarily the obvious light fresh fragrance for after a shower. It does feel a bit more fancy. It does feel a little bit more like going out, you know, that sort of thing. It's not one I would necessarily just throw on. I don't know. I mean, I would happily wear it anywhere really, but I'd also wear it all year round. But I think that it is nice for the summer. But it might be more summer evening, but it could be daytime. I don't know. It's really good. So that is Neroli Outre Noir, and I really, really like this. So that is one that is on my wish list, and my wish list is quite small. And I don't know, yeah, it's really, really good. I'm gonna have a swig of my drink because my throat's drying up. And then I'll quickly catch up with your comments, and then I'm gonna do one. Cassandra's just saying, correcting a previous comment. She meant she's really fussy about coconut. Sandra says, I like Neroli Outre Noir, but on my skin it is too masculine. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, I can't say your name. How many fragrances do I own? I don't know 100% off the top of my head, but I would stab in the dark at around 60-ish probably at the moment. I have been trying to whittle them down. I don't want to own that many. I struggle to choose what to wear, and I don't like things sitting there not getting used. So I try to be a bit more brutal when it comes to selling them, and I try not to buy too much. I'm only just starting to get back into fragrances. I took quite a long period of just not being that into like looking into things, buying things. And it's only sort of recently I just bought Bulgari Iris D'Or. That is amazing. That is so good. That was on my wish list for quite a long time. It took some stalking to get a reasonably priced bottle. So when I saw that, I had to have it. And I just tested, in my last video, I just tested a sample from Karen Timpson called Cote Vermeil. And that excited me because it's so good. And I think you just get so jaded by all the fragrances being released all the time. And they all get a bit samey, and they all seem to, you know, I don't know, they're all a bit synthetic and kind of just don't excite me. So it was exciting to try something new that was really good. So I'm just getting back into fragrances. I have been thinking about what I might buy next. I really want to get Medusa from Puente. I did review it quite a while ago and I really liked it. I got through my sample sort of over a period of time, going back to it. And yeah, unfortunately, it's been sort of discontinued, but I contacted them today and he can't get the civet that was in it. And so he's reformulating. And my worry is synthetic civet. Don't get me wrong, I don't actually want a perfume with real civet in either. But synthetic civet, if used at a noticeable dose, I don't like it. So my worry is if he goes in that direction, just replaces the civet that he was using with a synthetic to a degree that you can smell it, then I won't like it. What I would do, because I'm a professional perfumer, what I would do is get some amazing indolic white floral and put that in there. I'm thinking of Teone Reinthal's Nuit at this point. I think it's the one of the lotus. It's not white. I'm not sure what color, but a lotus that she puts in Nuit. There's a little bit on the stinky, dirty side, so it's indolic, but it isn't like foul. You know, it's for me anyway. It's really good. So I'm hoping that if he's, you know, when he reformulates it, that maybe he goes more in that direction than the synthetic civet direction. But, you know, I mean, perfumers have a whole host of tricks up their sleeve that I don't have any clue about. So it might be other ways he can get the little bit of funk in there. But yeah, Medusa is orange blossom dominant, but I can't even remember. Obviously it did have the civet, so a little bit of dirtiness about it. Sandra says, I have the same issue with recent fragrance releases. The only exciting stuff I smelled recent are Sporterno 1921 X-Ray. I don't know what that is. The new Nila Vermeer, I do want to try that. And the new Isabelle Larignon. I don't know who she is either, so I'm clearly out of touch. Karen says the Bulgaria Omnia line is nice for summer. Crystalline is the most popular, I think. Yeah, I do remember that one being very popular. Okay. What is the drink? Yes, grapefruit squash, Valentina. I am so sensible. Yeah, with my fragrance collection. Yeah, I just don't want too many. But each to their own. Dabaka, 60-ish is pretty modest for a frag head. Thank you. Untouchable, I have over 500, and sometimes I think, what's the point? How do you cope with it? I don't get it. How are they stored, first of all? I'm imagining like the influencers with the wall of fragrances, and they're all on display. How the hell do you choose what to wear? How do you face that task on a daily basis? Please do tell me. Hello, Carl. Carl says, I was thinking of backing up the new Nila Vermeer. I must try that. Karen says, there is no point, sell them. Okay, right. I think I am done. If Untouchable comes back with an answer, I would like to see that. So I'm going to give you a moment while I drink some more grapefruit squash. Carl says that I also like the new Les Indominables and Barbicaja from Sporterno. Okay, someone else mentioning Sporterno. I do not know what that is. I will look them up. Sandra says I have approximately 150 fragrances, but I need to declutter at least 10 or 20 fragrances. Yeah, I just don't know how you cope with loads. I went through a period where I definitely had somewhere around 120 to 150, and I think that might have been about the time of the pandemic when there was nothing much to do, so it was like ordering everything blind online. And then I suddenly realized I just had a load of fragrances that were just okay. You know, they were nice, they were all nice, but I just didn't want to choose that over. I always want to wear the ones I really love. And I found myself forcing myself to wear fragrances that were just okay, and that's not what I wanted to do. Untouchable says, I normally wear the same ones every day. Dusan says, greetings from a bar. I'm drinking peach spritz with Tamara. She is the best mountain climber that I know. Okay. Carl says, you have to enjoy the madness of it all from owning so many bottles. Okay. Mikey says, have you ever tried anything from Heckles? Yes. I have been to the shop at Pegwell Bay, and they are not my cup of tea. Very obviously they're all natural, but they're all very sort of aquatic or green or herbal. I know that is Pegwell Bay is the actual name of the most popular fragrance, is that right? But yeah, the shop is in Margate, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it was interesting to go in the shop and to smell some of the perfumes, but they are not my thing at all. I like naturals, but I actually like a perfume to still smell like a perfume as well. And these smell like, you know, tinctures of various things that they found in the general vicinity of the beach. So yeah, it wasn't for me, especially as I'm not into aquatics or anything like that, or green fragrance. You know, it's just none of that's my thing. So there was no floral vanilla musk. So yeah, not my thing, but interesting to have a visit of the shop and to smell the stuff anyway. Right, that is it. I'm done. I am running out of steam. So thank you so much everyone for coming along, and hopefully I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.